Hi, Sergio.
Hello, Maxine.
How are you doing today?
Doing great. Thank you
Good.
for having me here.
Thank you. We've been having these conversations for over 3 months with commissioners from the Lansing Regional Sister Cities Commission, and we've had some wonderful conversations about all of the work that we do as commissioners on this fantastic committee, I would call it. But I always ask the same question initially of all the ones with whom I have conversations, because I want the audience to know who you are. But perhaps before talking about who you are, I'll tell you about who I am.
Perfect.
And so they'll know. Again, I'm Maxine Hankins-Kane, a longtime member of Lansing Regional Sister Cities, and I've been involved, I think, since the late 90s in this organization. And of all the organizations with which I belong, this one to me is one of the most meaningful ones. So, Sergio, tell them who you are. I want them to know more than your name is Sergio Keck, but who are you? And you can start from your childhood and work it up to today.
Okay. Well, thank you. I am Sergio Keck. Originally was born in Argentina, and I came to the United States when I was 14 years of age.
Okay.
My family, especially my father, was and continues to be a person that had a great admiration for this country, and his goal was always to come here. So that is basically why I came here as a freshman in high school without speaking any English. So I had to learn to be social without speaking. So it was very interesting how I developed the skills of communicating with people. I was fortunate enough to go to college and I became a teacher. I was a teacher in Detroit, and then I came to Lansing School District, and I have been an employee of the Lansing School District for over 30 years. My career in this community in Lansing has been from teaching to an assistant principal, to a school principal, to director of various departments, and right now my official title is Director of Special Populations, which I work with bilingual kids and early childhood education and adult education. And at the same time, being from where I'm from, my love for the sport of soccer has always been inside my blood. So we started a soccer club in the city of Lansing over 20 years ago, which is called the Lansing Soccer Club, so kids would have a chance to play this beautiful sport that's played all around the world.
Okay.
So being part of the sister cities and the international flavor and the friendships between what we in the city of Lansing and our community members can make with other cities around the world was an area and a focus that I wanted to put an effort into.
Okay. I did not know that. I've learned a whole lot already. Now, you came from Argentina when you were 14 years
Yes.
old. What was your image of America before you came here? And then when you landed on that plane and experienced America the first time, what were you thinking about then? So what were your preconceived notions of America before you came here? America was what?
Well, Maxine, I was 14 years old, and that was a long time ago.
Okay, okay.
So I don't really. I thought of United States as a place with a lot of advancements and a lot of things that were super new and electrical. You know, at that time, like big radios and big cars. And when I arrived here, that's what was shocking. You know, cars were huge. The space. I came from a city that's called Buenos Aires. So we grew up in cities the size of New York City or bigger than Chicago. And my parents kind of tricked us, because when they said we're going to Lansing or East Lansing, And we go, oh, is there a lot of buildings? And yeah, there's a lot of buildings. Well, in East Lansing, there was one building at that time.
Okay. One tall building.
Yeah, it was the 241 building on Saginaw Street, I remember.
Okay.
And they say, yeah, that's the building. Well, so it took a little while to adjust because things were more spacious. You know, and we didn't speak the language, so that was tough.
Okay, and you also said that you taught in Detroit.
Yes.
I taught in Detroit.
Yes.
Starting in 1968 to 1974. Where did you teach in Detroit, and what did you teach in Detroit?
I taught in a school. The name was James Cousins.
Yes.
By the Cass Corridor.
Okay.
And I was part of what's called the Foreign Language Immersion School.
Yes. Okay.
So I was a Spanish immersion teacher.
Okay.
3rd grade. In Detroit public schools, and those babies, by the time they were done with me, they were really good Spanish speakers.
Some
Yes,
Spanish.
yes.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
¿Cómo está usted?
Muy bien. Mucho gusto.
¿A dónde vive usted?
Yo vivo aquí en Lansing.
Oh, sí. Okay.
¿Y tú cómo aprendiste español?
¿Qué?
¿Qué?
Que un poco español. That's my 8th grade Spanish.
Well, that's okay.
And that's all I know.
Well,
what is your name? Where do you live? I can count
Yeah.
to 10 in Spanish.
Perfect.
Okay, so here we are. You're from Argentina.
Yes.
You are basically from a Spanish-speaking country, yet today we're talking about Japan.
Mm-hmm.
What sense does that make?
That's the beauty of America.
That's the beauty of America. Right.
Once we come here, we don't know what we're going to end up talking about.
Right. So, Sergio, you are an awesome member of our Lansing Regional Sister Cities. How did you get involved with the Lansing Regional Sister Cities, and how long have you been involved?
I've been involved for over a decade as a Sister City Commission, and I don't recall. I think it was either a school superintendent or the mayor that asked for me to be part of it.
Okay.
The first task that I was part of it was setting up a group of students coming from another sister city in South Korea, which is Asan. So they was a group of about 25 middle schoolers that came and stayed in Mission State for 3 weeks, and then they would stay with families during the weekend. And that was my first real task that I was involved. Through the years, my superintendent asked me, and I was very grateful that she asked me to be part of the delegation of students that went to Japan, to Otsu.
Okay.
So my experience with sister cities also has been preparing kids from the Lansing School District and from Lansing to go to Japan, and kids from Japan coming to Lansing and make sure that we host them and find families and show them what Lansing is all about.
Okay. So from Argentina to America, and then from America to Asan,
Yes.
and then to Japan.
Yes.
How has that experience been for you? Seeing parts of the world. Let's talk about your experience. How has that experience been for you, seeing another part of the world?
The experience, one of the things that I can tell anybody who's listening is that I found wonderful people all around the world. That's number
The
one.
main thing.
Now, as far as what we eat around this world, we all have our differences, but there are also some that are very tasteful. I saw Japan. Otsu, it's kind of a small city.
Okay.
It's a beautiful city with a beautiful lake, and what fascinated me about Japan was that it's so clean. Like in Otsu, in some of the streets, they told me they don't have garbage cans, because if you have garbage cans, you're producing trash. So in order to not create trash, don't have trash cans. I mean, that concept.
So what do they do? Is that
that's-
recycling?
Yeah.
Put in the cans, and the
or
paper
you put
in
in
the
your
paper.
pocket, or you roll the paper very small. You put in your pocket. When you go home, you throw it away. But the concept of throwing stuff away is completely different than this part of the world where we consume and everything is packaging and we throw away.
That's interesting.
Yes.
You learn something new,
Yes.
every day.
Yes.
Now,
The schools were beautiful.
okay,
The schools, the children, the teachers, the families, the way they hosted our kids from Lansing was an experience that, even though it was 1 week long, these kids had a lasting impact for the rest of their life. We had a kid that went to this trip and ended up working as a high-level executive at Toyota,
wow,
from Lansing.
from Lansing.
From Lansing, through a 5-day experience or
Oh
6-day
wow,
experience.
wow.
Plus, the teachers in Lansing, they have a very strong Japanese program.
They do. In fact,
They
we had some students come to our commission meeting, I think.
Yes.
And they talked to us about their experience.
Mhm.
And then we've had some of the kids who went there
Mhm.
to also come and talk to us. And they said to us how life-changing it was. They didn't realize that the world was so different in other parts of the world. So I'm going to Japan on the 14th of August for about 10 days. I'm excited about that because one of my goals is to go to each of our sister cities. And as you know, but the audience might not know, that we have sister cities in South Korea, Japan, China, Italy, Tanzania, and Ghana.
Yes.
And I've gone mostly to Ghana, but my first time going to Japan is this year. I think there's a trip to South Korea next year. And then I understand that we're going to have a trip to China sometime soon that Chris Holman will be spearheading. So my goal is to go to each of those celebrations. So as a commissioner, why is it so important for us to work as hard as we do traveling to all of these sister cities? What difference you think the commission is doing relative to our goals and our missions? What difference are we making to be establishing these partnerships around the world?
Well, we're making differences over there and over here. So I think the Commission has done some tremendous work in Ghana and in other areas of the world where our assistance was greatly appreciated and needed. So the people of Lansing and the Commission representing this area has had a big heart in taking care of other places. At the same time, by spreading the name of Lansing in these other cities around the world, we're bringing the world closer to Lansing. And Lansing, it's already an international city more than people imagine. We have students from 80 different nationalities and 65 languages. So promoting this global, international flavor of what truly Lansing is, it's a benefit for everybody that lives in Lansing. This is a welcoming city. This is a place where we have people that are very busy, like you and many of us, who put our time and effort to be part of the commission to bridge Lansing with the rest of the world. And that's a great accomplishment and a great need for this city.
Yeah. I know one of our sayings is we want to build relationships one person at a time, one city at a time, one country at a time. And the world is smaller because of these relationships. I recall one story. I go mostly to Ghana. I've been there like 20 times. I'm going again. The people that we've met also are so different. Like the ones you met in South Korea,
Yeah.
the ones you met in Japan. We've met people like that in Ghana, for example. I told this story. One lady was sitting in the hotel corridor waiting for me until early in the morning, just waiting for me. And I didn't know who she was or what she wanted. So when I went out to the corridor, they introduced me to her. She was a lady, probably in her 60s, maybe in her 50s, who had walked miles and miles and miles and miles just to give me some greens, some contumely, some greens, because of something that I did, and I don't remember today what that thing was. But it's just showing that even the smallest things that we do for them are helping them. And what do we get? We get their friendship. They better understand us. We better understand them. So building relationships, building these bridges across these oceans, one person at a time. Why was the focus on Japan? Why not Ghana? Why not China? Why not Tanzania? Why was it Japan? Because that's our focus for today.
Well, Japan was specifically because the Lansing School District has such a strong program of Japanese teachers and students that the need to develop and to continue that exchange program was a part that I could play in ensuring that it was successful. So that's why it's Japan.
Okay. Because you oversee these programs. You oversee the immersion programs?
The World Languages programs.
The World Language programs.
Yes.
School District.
Yeah, I'm one of several people that oversees them, but Japan is it's a very special land. I have been in different parts of Asia, and from my observation, not anybody else's, not a book, nothing from no Google, just me. Okay.
Just you. So you're okay.
Yes.
Okay.
My observation is that Japan is the closest country in Asia that I've visited that is similar to the United States.
Okay.
Even some of the construction, and it might have to do with the history of this world, but I notice Japan, Germany, and United States as three of the cleanest and most law-abiding countries that I have ever seen.
Yeah, I understand. I think I'm expecting that they use their space wisely in Japan.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that? What can I expect when I go there?
I think you will you will expect that everything is so precise. Okay? The space. I was told one time, I stayed in a Japanese family the first time I went to. A beautiful family. The whole house was controlled by a little electrical box, like what time each light went on, what time the warm water in the bath would start.
So that's efficiency.
Yeah. This we're talking about over 10 years ago.
Okay.
Who knows what it is today? But I was told that one community organization went to the law, and they complained because the train was 1 minute late.
Oh.
So what does that tell you about society? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're timely. Let me get back to the students, though. I so want us to be able to bring students from Ghana to America. Now, I have taken 4 students to Ghana, and we fundraised. We baked pies and sold sandwiches, and grandmas were working really hard. So we fundraised a lot. But how are you more often able to have kids come here and to take kids there? How was all that stuff funded?
Well, let's start with the kids that are coming here.
Okay.
Okay, that's easier.
Okay.
So the students that are coming to Lansing, our job is to find host families to coordinate with the schools, so they can go in the schools in the morning to make sure the kids have, the
American experience.
the experience, the school, they ride the bus, they eat the lunch, they might stay in the after school tutoring program or whatever programs that we have after school, or maybe athletics, and then they go home. The trick is finding families.
Okay.
That
That's the challenging thing?
the challenging is, that's why this is so important for people that watch these programs and all that. We are always looking for families.
For host families?
Yes, host families that are able to host. Host families that
From 10 to 14 days?
it could be 10 to 14 days.
Okay.
We haven't had an exchange group in a little while now. So, but we always need families,
Okay.
host families.
And how is it paid? How do they get that money to come over here?
That's
on that side?
on the other side.
Yes.
That is probably parents, sometimes communities, the city pays for it, or
Okay.
the schools.
Okay.
It's a collaboration. And
It's
the
a
way,
collaboration.
yes, and the way we do it here is, as you describe, it takes a leader within a group to be able to help the kids fundraise
Okay.
and to
Get sponsors?
get sponsors, go to church, get their relatives, get their friends, sometimes some businesses to sponsor them.
Okay.
And for Japan, our teachers were instrumental in helping our kids find money.
Okay. So that's one thing that I really want to do.
And also, let's not forget,
Okay.
we are very grateful that this Sister Cities Commission
Yeah.
did provide some scholarships for
Okay.
kids to be able to go to.
Okay. That's what they did.
yes.
And they came back and they were so very, very,
Yes.
very, very thankful. Now, what is happening in Lansing on September the 7th at 6 o'clock at the Lansing Center? What is this big thing happening in Lansing on September the 7th, 2019 at the Lansing Center at 6 o'clock?
Well, just in case people did not get it, right? September 7th.
Right.
Well, we are celebrating our 25th anniversary of the Sister City Commission startup. I mean, it's been 25 years of wonderful people that has worked with the city, with the schools, with the businesses to ensure that we have this bridge with the world.
Yes.
And hopefully we can continue to grow this bridge. And we need everybody that's listening to us to come and check us out on the 7th.
Yes.
We will have a great evening, and we will showcase our sister cities. And it's just another fun event that is provided in Lansing for our community, from us.
Absolutely. I think I'm just too excited, Sergio. Like the last time we had our 20th anniversary.
Yes.
We had food stations representing each of our sister cities, where they are able to sample some dish representing that sister cities. We had a display of artifacts, art, all kinds of things representing. And then the most important part to me was when on that stage we had some kind of entertainment showcasing each of our sister cities. But my favorite part was to see the diversity, the cultural diversity, the gender diversity on the floor, dancing and celebrating. We wanted to showcase our Native Americans because they, to me, are of utmost importance. And so we had a parade of flags representing our country. So we're looking forward, the commissioners are looking forward to having people in the community help celebrate not just the commission, but to celebrate during these challenging times the importance of us coming together, looking each other in the eye, dancing and laughing and dining and eating, and just showcasing how important it is for us to exist together in a peaceful environment. So I thank you, Mr. Sergio Keck from Argentina, and I thank your parents for bringing you here at the age of 14 and all that you have done as a member of the Lansing Regional Sister Cities. And we hope that everyone comes out on what's that date again?
September 7th.
At the Lansing Center
Well,
at 6 o'clock.
Well, I want to, first of all, I want to thank you because you are a treasure of this community.
Thank you.
When we did the 20th celebration of the Sister Cities, you play an incredible role, and you continue to do that for the 25th. I hope you continue to do it for the 30th and the 40th and the 50th.
Okay. If I'm able
No,
to.
you will. But thank you for the effort that you put to do this. And I just want to also say how grateful I am to be part of the Sister Commission and of this community that welcomed me many years ago. And now my job is to welcome others the way I was welcomed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here you go.